Hi guys, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. I am so excited for this video because I am going to be introducing my Geared Up Garage online class for you. And the class has 9 different cards. Every card has a written tutorial for it along with a video. So if there's any questions about how I made the card, you can easily watch the video and find out exactly how I did everything, which I find to be super helpful. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys that you certainly do enjoy that and appreciate that there is a video for every card. So again, there's 9 cards. There's a few fun folds. The cards use a bundle of products called the Geared Up Garage Bundle, which is this stamp set here, and the coordinating set of framelits. And this is what the framelits do. So obviously we have some of these stamped images, which have coordinating dies. And then we also have this large gear die, which is super cool. Can you see the detail that that thing puts on those pieces of paper? And then all these small little gears here. Super fun. We have the Designer Series paper, the Classic Garage Designer Series paper. And now I literally only have this much of this pattern left. I had so much fun creating cards for the class and other things that I have literally used all the pieces of this pattern but this piece here. I have this piece left from the stop sign pattern. This piece here, I have this little scrap here, and I have a toolbox that I stamped on this red and then die cut, which I think stamping these images on the backs of these papers, because they're just kind of muted patterns, which are really cool. So it's not exactly like using cardstock, which is nice and wonderful, but you do get a little bit more dimension, I think, if you stamp an image on any of these papers on the back here and then cut it out. And then here are the rest of the patterns. I do have full sheets of these left. So these are a lot of fun. Again, this side over. So you get, if you purchase the bundle from me, the bundle is the stamp set and the dies, the Designer Series paper, along with these fun metal elements that are little wrenches and little car keys. Super adorable. Actually, you could probably use this key here. Like if you had somebody that was moving into a new home, you could put a little key on a welcome to the neighborhood card. That would be super cute. And then the metallic black and silver ribbon is also part of the bundle. And then if you purchase the bundle of products from me, you get the online class for free. If you don't need the bundle of products, you can just purchase the online class from me for $20. You can find all the information at barbstamps.com. Along the top of the homepage of my blog, you will find a link that says online classes. You can purchase them there. Moving on to the card in this video, this is a fun shaker card that I designed to kind of kick off my class because I'm super excited about it. This is not one of the cards in the class. The cards in the class are exclusive to the class, and I'm not posting them anywhere else. So they are exclusive for you who purchase the class. But this one we're going to be making today in the video, so I hope you think it's fun. I think it's super fun. I've got a friend who's having a birthday, and he's not old, but he's older, so I think he'll appreciate this. So let me get the supplies for this and we will get started. All right, guys, here are the supplies, paper supplies that we need to complete this card. I've got an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of basic black that we're going to fold in half. I have a 1/4 sheet of cardstock basic gray that we're going to cut our rectangle window out of. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white that's going to be on the inside. I have I wrote it down, 4 9/16 by 3 3/16 layer of white. And then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper with the cars and a window sheet, and they both measure 2 7/8 by 4 1/4. I also did take some scraps of smoky slate, black foil sheet, and silver foil sheet, and I just cropped out a bunch of these gears to be the shaker bits. So we'll be adding those a little bit later on in the video. Okay, and then I also need some scraps of white to do some stamping of the car and the sentiment on the outside. And also I did cut out this little emblem out of the silver foil sheet also. So we'll just put that with the gears. Okay, so let's start our assembly of this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get our frame. We're going to do that by using our rectangle stitched framelits dies. Now I like to keep mine on a magnetic sheet. And then I have this set of 8 nested dies on this side, these 4 longer, kind of skinnier dies here, and then this little oddball guy. These are all numbered 1 through 8, starting with the smallest going out. These are A, B, C, D, smallest going out. So I am going to be using number 4 and number 6 to create my frame. I'm going to place them onto my piece of basic gray. And now when I ran them through, I did use a little bit of washi tape just to get them so they're even. So I layered these together like this. I ran them through my Big Shot with my magnetic platform, my precision base plate, this setup here, and then my cutting pad. And this is what I get. So here is my frame. All right, so we can kind of start putting this together a little bit. I am going to glue the window sheet to my frame. So I'm just going to add adhesive to the back side of the frame. I'm using snail. Window sheets stick really well with snail, I've found. You could use glue dots, tear and tape. I don't really recommend liquid glue because you don't want it to ooze out all over your window sheet and make a gigantic mess. So go ahead and finish this glue process up here. All right. And then we're just going to take the window sheet, and it's just barely smaller than the rectangles, so it'll cover most of it. Okay, just press that into place. So we have that part done. Okay, and then this layer of the Designer Series paper is going to be placed onto our layer of white. Okay. Make sure that's bare or mostly, whoops, I'm going to turn that over, cover up my writing there. Okay, and then back to this piece, or, you know, it doesn't really matter. We're going to bring in our, oops, my dimensionals came in too. Some foam adhesive strips. I'm going to pull some out here, and we're just going to use these, and we're going to go around this frame here. And so I just like to peel them off, and then you can trim them to fit. You just want to make sure that the bits can't get out. So you want to have enough on your card that the little bits can't get out. I think we'll end up using this whole thing, so go ahead and just line that along the edge there. Snip that off. And maybe we'll go along this long edge here. Now, if you had smaller bits that you were sticking in to be your shaker things, you might want to have your ends meet up a little bit better. But since my bits are fairly big, if they don't meet up exactly, it's going to be fine. All right, so we need one more piece here. And we'll just do that. Snip that off just a tad. And we can always just put this little guy over here if we feel it's necessary. Okay. So then what I like to do is I like to take my bits and dump them onto this layer here, whatever it happens to be. If I'm using sequins or, you know, buttons, whatever you happen to be using, I like to place them onto this piece here. Make sure they're right side up, whatever you consider right side up. Since most of mine are foil sheets, I can tell if they're white, then they're upside down. Okay, so there we have all of our bits. Then we're just going to remove the backing papers to this frame, and we're just going to come straight down on top of everything. So I made sure that my bits are not all the way to the edge, that they're still somewhat in the center. And these little pieces of adhesive backing come off pretty darn easily, I found, even for somebody with no fingernails. Okay, so we're just going to peel all those off. And like I said, you're just going to come straight down, and you want it, actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a dark piece of paper to put underneath this white. It's going to just let me see the edges of my white a little bit better. Okay, so you're just going to go straight down on top, just eyeballing so that you have equal distance on all 4 sides. about like so. Okay, so now we can set this piece aside and work on the rest of this here. All right, I have a scrap of white that we're going to bring in here to do some stamping on. And I've got my car image here and my little cheers to you image here. So let me bring in my Memento black ink. I'm going to be doing a little bit of coloring on the car. Okay, and then our little cheers to you up here. Oh, I guess we can leave the ink out because we do need to add some sentiments to the inside. And we're going to bring in the itty bitty birthdays. That's where I got the cheers to you from. And then we're also going to put in you're not old, you're just older, and happy birthday, as I know a gentleman who is having a birthday who isn't old but is older. So I thought that was kind of funny. Hopefully he thinks it's funny. We'll see. Okay, so we're just going to kind of eyeball that. Hope it's in the middle. It's a little crooked, but I think, well, I guess we have another chance, don't we? We've got another side of the paper, so we'll try that again. Up just a tad. Okay, so we're going to try this again. That does look a little better. All right, now we have our happy birthday. All right. Now we're done with the ink. Okay, so to color in the car, I'm just going to use the light and dark smoky slate Stampin' Blends markers. And if you're not a fan of coloring, just go ahead and speed through this part of the video. I'm just going to kind of start by laying down some of the light smoky slate on most of the car. Got some reading glasses on here, but they don't seem to be helping. They seem to be hindering my vision. Okay, so we added a little bit of the light. Now we're going to come in and we're going to do some accenting with the dark. Like a lot of this shading here that the stamp's already laid down for us. We're just going to highlight that a little bit with the dark marker here. Around this wheel well a little bit. I'm just going to kind of go through these lines that of course the stamp's already created for us. A little review mirror. Then I'm going to bring my light back in and then I'm going to blend all this. Kind of trying to be careful not to go too close to the edge, because sometimes with the alcohol markers, if you're really doing a lot of blending and you're close to the edge, it will bleed out away from your stamped line. So I just try to stay, you know, more to the inside and then let the bleeding happen. And then when the bleeding does happen, it just goes right to the edge. Okay, and then we're just gonna come up here, and I'm kind of shaky right now. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to bring in my Wink Stella marker, and we're going to just add a little bit of Wink Stella to the headlights, just so they appear to be on. So now I'm going to take this over to my big shot. I'm going to use the car die, of course, to cut that out. And then let me find it here. My little emblem piece will cut out the cheers to you. All right, so I will be right back. Here we go with those pieces. All right, so we do have our emblem here. So now we can go ahead and just do some assembly. Let's add this to the inside of the card. Oh my, you know what I've just done? I need to redo that. Because my card's going to open like this horizontally, and then I have this stamped vertically. So that's not going to work. I just crack myself up sometimes, guys. Okay, so we're going to bring those stamps back in. And let's see, did I get that? It still wasn't super straight. Okay, and then the happy birthday. Wouldn't that have been funny? Actually, the guy that I'm thinking of giving this to would have just laughed his head off because he would have went, oh, there you go, typical Barb. Because there's a lot of things I screw up that you guys don't get to see because I hide that. Okay, now we're going to get this on the inside of the card. There we go. Easy enough. Let's close that ink so I don't get my fingers stuck in it. We're going to bring our shaker piece back in right here, and we're going to add that to the front of the card. Okay, so we're going to put it in the center as best we can if we are old and have bad eyes, which is me. Okay, and then we're just going to add some adhesive to the car. I'm just going to have that kind of come in like so. We're going to add a little bit of adhesive to these side pieces of this emblem. Add that. Actually, we might need to use some liquid glue because my emblem is a little longer than where I wanted to put it. So just a bit of liquid glue, not too much because I don't want it to squirt out onto my window sheet. Okay, and I kind of wanted that about like so. And then I'm going to bring in a dimensional, put that in the center of the emblem. And then my little word here, my little sentiment here can just be popped up right there in the center. So isn't that fun? I love those interactive cards. Now we're not all the way done. I did want to add one of these adorable little key elements. So here's the key. And then we'll just snip off a small piece of the ribbon. Run that through the key, the top of the key there. Now this might be a helpful place to have fingernails. Okay. Tie that in a little knot right around the top of the key there. Manipulate it a little bit until it looks the way we want it to. I don't like that ribbon going that way. Okay. Bring in some scissors to trim off a little bit of the excess. Let's see, are those even? This one seems to be a tiny bit longer. Okay. And now I'm going to bring in a glue dot. And I'm going to roll that up. Just kind of roll it so it's like a tube glue dot. I don't know if you can see it on the edge of my finger there. Maybe when we put it on the key, you can tell. And then I'm just going to stick it on the back of the key. So I just rolled that up and it's on the back of the key. And I thought if we just kind of stuck that right, where should we put it? How about right there? Right on the edge, or maybe underneath the sentiment there. No, then that blocks my thing. Above the car, below the car, maybe not at all, huh? Maybe not at all. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not liking that. Can't really put it on the car, I don't think. Oh, I'm kind of thinking that maybe no, that this is just not the right thing to put on this. Well, if I think of a better way to put it on there, I might, and then you can just check. I'll pop the picture in there. So here we are, guys. Love all those gears flying around in there. I think they're super fun. Open that up. We have a little bit of a sentiment there for my old friend, not old, quote unquote. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that so much. Get to my blog and order your class. Again, if you order the bundle of supplies, which was the bundle, the stamp set and the dies, the designer series paper, the key and wrench elements, and the ribbon, then I will give you the class for free. You can send me an email if you want me to send you an invoice for the bundle of products, or you can just purchase the class on my blog for the $20. So thanks, guys. Do your shopping at shoppingwithbarb.com. I always offer free gifts, and have a wonderful day.